Alrighty. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. Today, I think we're just going to hang out, discuss this case naturally. However, the topics come. For me, I would like to discuss what actually happened that day. I think it's kind of strange that we have no real idea of what actually happened. Good to see you, Big Bird. I mean, I've heard Doug Carter say that he knows what has happened out there. He knows exactly what played out. Good to see you, Mike. What's going on, Anna? What's going on, Big Bird? Nothing. I was just looking into the Delphi case this morning and figured I'd include you guys in some of the things I was thinking about. Hey, Julianne, Vic, Patricia, Jerry, Bobby, and Beth. Welcome, everybody. I mean, none of this makes any sense. We try to use all of the facts surrounding the case, but a lot of it's misinformation, especially if you're trying to use the Ron Logan probable cause affidavit as a factual piece of information. It's hard. You ask yourself, well, they had to have ran, they had to have fought. But in that PCA, it says, hey, there was no signs of a fight or a struggle. Okay. So that means that they didn't run and they didn't fight, right? Well, if they didn't run, they didn't fight, how did they get to this location? It makes no sense. And if they didn't struggle, they didn't fight, and they didn't run, why were they brought to this location? We heard in the Lost Delphi documentary, when Hannah walked into this location, she said it was almost like a theater. There was talk of deer cams being found out there. Was that the purpose? Get them in front of the deer cam? Is that what the purpose of going down the hill is? Thank you, Mike. Mike Essery sponsoring today's live stream. Thank you. I mean, what else? I mean, what happened? I have no clue what happened. We've been covering this case for so long, and it's like we have no answers. Hey, Nana. I'm doing well. Hope you're well. I don't think Mike ever said that. I've never heard Mike say that she fought like hell. The only time I've ever seen that was in the David Erskine texts. How's it going, Beth? Oh, I might have missed you, Sparky. What's going on? That's a good question. What is going on in Delphi? Good morning, little one. What's up, D? Justice for Abby and Libby. He said they fought till the end, on down the hill. When did he say that? I've never heard him say that. Not saying he didn't. I'm just saying I've never heard him say that. And if they did fight like hell, why why would it say something else in the Ron Logan warrant? It doesn't make any sense. Because I heard there might have been DNA in the fingernails. What's up, Jill? Jody, hello. Morning. Vic says Ruckus put a lot on the line with that last video. Well, from my understanding, there's a lot of movement. It could be nothing. Could just be some last ditch efforts. What's up, Jamgar? Judy says, I never thought about the deer cam before. Let me guess. There's no recording, right? Yeah, honestly, you wouldn't even need to take the deer cam. You would take the SD card from the back of it. You don't even need it. Just knowing it's there, you could put your own SD card in it. Good to see you, Judy. Gail, what about Ruckus 2-minute video? I'm not sure. I haven't spoken to him about that video. But shortly before he made that video, I had spoken to one person local to the area. I spoke to another creator who is actually local to the area and knows a lot of people, knows what's going on. They both had the same thing to say. But to me, it's all just rumors, right? To them, it's not, but to me, it is. So I'm not going to get all. And I have some details. I guess some people are being re interviewed. We'll just say that. H Doc says Erskine Tech said that, but I'm not. Yeah, me neither. Because I have a feeling that Erskine had no clue that he was being about to be put on blast. So he might have embellished a little bit. There's always a human factor. You never know what that is. It really depends on the person's motivation. It's a variable. Cheeks, what's up? I always felt the Ron Logan warrant was a bit bogus. It was hella bogus. It even says the girl showed up at like 1 o'clock. So either they just didn't have any information or they just wrote this up like kind of like willy nilly. Like, we'll just go ahead and put this in here, a little bit of that. All right, here we go. Serve this up to the judge, put a little A1 on the side. Here you go. Judge doesn't have a clue what time they showed up, right? And what that also tells me is that they didn't have the Hoosier Harvest Store video at that point in time, which was still fairly early on. What was that, March 11th of 2017? I could be wrong. Somewhere around that time is when they finally served that actual warrant on the Ron Logan property. Were there any SD cards in the cans they found? I don't know. But during the search of Richard Allen, they were digging small holes. They were using metal detectors. And I think in SD cards, there's a little bit of gold and probably some other metals in there, I'm sure. The neighbor said he dug up 3 small holes and that was it. So whatever they were looking for, it seems like they found it. Doesn't mean even if it was an SD card, it could be maybe a small box, it could be a cell phone. So I mean, it doesn't. They. I just have a feeling that they tried to document this crime, and that might be why there were so many people involved. And I also get the feeling that it was motivated by money. You know, what else would get these idiots all organized together to do something this bad? Cheek says, yeah, like they threw some bullshit together just to try and get on his property in the search. Yeah, because they did a probation search uh, right off the bat, but that's a very limited kind of search. What's up, Kevin? Mike Essery, Sleuth, does your info match what Frank and Ruckus have heard? Well, I haven't spoken with Ruckus about it. I spoke with Frank, and he might have a lot more information about it than I do, honestly, because he has shared a few things with me, and it seems to be more to the source of where this information's coming from. So yeah, and he's not talking about it. Hey, what's up, Cindy Lean and Linda Miller? Linda says, I'm new to your channel. Happy to see someone covering this case. Yeah, we always cover this case. We've been covering this case. And we still don't know anything about this case. So please explain that. Did you guys participate in the poll? Um, West Memphis 3 was basically my introduction into true crime. I went over it in college in a critical thinking class. We watched, I believe, 1 and 2. And I was shocked when they showed the crime scene and they had the bodies laid out. I felt like it was kind of like a gore porn, but also I think it depends on the maturity, right, of the viewer. But at the same time, I just don't know how it's necessary. But honestly, I wouldn't. It makes me think of the Delphi case. So when I hear about this brutality and this strange crime scene, um, honestly, if you haven't really seen a crime scene like that, like what they presented in the Paradise Lost documentary put out by HBO, like it's almost like you can't grasp it, if you haven't actually seen it. Your imagination won't do it justice. So to me, there's a lot of similarities between the West Memphis 3 case and the Delphi case. Yep, that's all they need. She Warrior, what's going on? Yeah, and like I said, I have no real evidence. I've seen some things, but I don't know where they came from. And the person that showed them to me is not going to tell me where they came from. So I don't know if they're doctored. I don't know what's going on. But from my understanding, from what I'm gathering, they're re-interviewing people. So whatever that means. Usually that means they've either found some timeline issues, found some holes in the stories, or they have new information that's proving something that they said is incorrect. Linda says the Paradise Lost was at a time they showed more crime scenes in reality. See, that's also what came to mind. See, I think you might be right. Um, Politics are just different. Things that we did way back then are not things that we're doing today. Yeah, you're hit the nail on the head right there. They wrote up anything to get it in there to inspect his shit. That's how law enforcement often works. Yeah, and it was the FBI that wrote that one up. What was it? Robertson, I think is her name. What's up, Chopper? So is the info about KK waiting in the car for BG true? And what about the gas station KK went to? That I don't know. One thing I do know is that the timeline from when this female person apparently was duping Kagan in jail coincides with the Wabash River search and also the arrest of Richard Allen. All those things coincide. You have the duping of Keegan Klein, you have the searching of the river, and then you have the arrest of Richard Allen. All within like a 30-day time frame. Because believe it or not, they actually found whatever hit on the Orion system happened the fourth week of the search. So that information, the fourth week of the search, was readily available. Whether it came from something they found in the river or something they intercepted as far as a communication, whatever that reference piece was that they punched into that system pulled up Richard Allen and that tip narrative. So to me, that's Kagan Klein's direct connection with the Delphi case. To me, it's a direct link to Richard Allen. Yeah. I mean, if this was a group of people, somebody showed them a pile of cash, drugs, or something, or lied to them, promised them those things. What's up, V? They should have searched Ron Logan's property right away, in my opinion. Well, technically, they did. Ron Logan should have let them, but he has a long criminal history with law enforcement. They don't like him very much, so. Shooter McGavin. Shooter says yes. I think it's important to see the bodies so you can understand the crime scene. Yeah, I would have never expected it to be that gruesome. I mean, it was just awful. The worst thing that you could possibly imagine is what you can expect, um, from what I've seen from that documentary. What they did to those little kids, it'll shake you. Hey, BN Mama. I'm feeling the same. I can't have my coffee, can't lift weights, I can't punch my punching bag, I can't go. I got to take it easy till they check me out, which will be tomorrow. We do not need to see children's dead bodies. See, and I don't know. To me, I feel like I have a better understanding. I don't need to see it anymore. I now understand somewhat what these law enforcement, these investigators, and what these first responders see. I mean, it is awful. And when you see it, it you're almost smothered by it. Yeah, it's hard to watch, and I think it really depends on the professionalism of the viewer and the intent. So this is the view coming down from Ron Logan's property, right on the edge of the cemetery. So you could either go up this trail and pop out in the wide open area of his property, or over here to the right, you can go up this. It's kind of like a little ravine, I guess, and this will take you right to the cemetery. I believe this is kind of where the water and the snow runoff is. But this looks like an actual trail created by Ron Logan or people from that property or people that know about that area. Hey, Anna, there is no reason for those outside of law enforcement to see the bodies. It is a matter of dignity for the deceased and their families. Most of us can add nothing to the solution by seeing bodies. Well, you have to speak for yourself, though. You have to say, that's my opinion. You can't speak for everybody. Because I know that there's some pathologists, coroners, doctors. I think they've been seeing dead bodies their entire career, and they might have something to offer. Mike says, I hear you, but I also understand that if they do know something, it is wise not to jeopardize the case. Trust me, there's nothing that we can do that could jeopardize anything. We got to get this false sense of like power and false sense of like fear all the time. We got to get a grip on reality, guys. Cindy says, I think if it were my child, I would not want random people looking at the photos. I think their family signed off on it. I think that's the only way they were able to do that. Cheek says, I always felt like it was pointless and more of a shock value. Yeah, like gore porn, like Faces of Death. You remember those old tapes in the beginning of the documentary? Yeah, and they did it to shock you. I mean, I guarantee there were many people that just walked out, turned off the video because it's that bad. Cheek says, unless they're specifically trying to show you something from the crime scene, I never really appreciated them showing the bodies. To me, it was kind of like we always hear about these cases, right? We hear about the tragedy, we hear about the brutality, but not in my wildest imagination Would I ever expect something to be that bad? So for them to show it, it was kind of like, look, this shit is real. These boys were really killed and they were mutilated. Like, we're not just talking about something, this is not entertainment. Like, there's people's lives on the line here. These boys are gone and they were basically tortured. Without seeing that, I'm not sure if I would have fully grasped how serious it was. It was awful to see, and I hate that they put that in there. But at the same time, I feel like now when people, like with the Delphi case, when you have people like uh, Doug Carter talking about the brutality and how it changed him, immediately I have a reference to what he is referring to. And if it's anything like the West Memphis 3 case, it is pure, pure evil. Very disturbing. What's up, Digital? I heard it's depositions for the Franks hearing. Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure, V. Shooter McGavin makes a great point. Seeing the crime scene video and listening to Jesse Miss Kelly's confession really put it all together for me. I agree with that. There's a lot of people who feel that they're guilty and that through some kind of dark forces and the help of HBO and, basically the same people who put the dead bodies on the screen kind of were responsible for eventually getting them out. We do not battle against flesh and blood. And whatever that means, I think had a lot to do with why they might be free today. I could be wrong. Hey Courtney, how are you? I'm still hoping the 1.5 hours the perp spent at the crime scene was looking for the phone or ejected bullet. Yeah, what the hell was he doing? We know there was they were moved and staged. Is that what he was doing? I think he was cleaning. Because I'm not sure if they took off running. They might have went back to the creek to clean up stuff. Try to get all their DNA out of there. So that could have been what they were doing for an hour and an hour and 45 minutes, just trying to clean.
I asked him about fingerprints.
There were some fingerprints collected.
Do you know if those fingerprints belong to the killer?
That I do not know.
Okay, so they have fingerprints.
And same with DNA. You have DNA.
Yes.
And they have
You
DNA.
have his DNA?
Again, we don't know.
We don't know. Here's another question. They have DNA. If it belongs to Richard Allen, do you think they would have told us by now? I think they would have. Yeah, very strange also, Anna. Odd. Hey, what's up, Shay? Showing the bodies, unfortunately, is the only was many people will believe the magnitude. Yeah, honestly, it was awful to see. It smothered me. It it kind of hurt to watch, but at the same time, it's like that's just a small ounce of what these families are going through when they see that. Like, we're blindsided by the shock of it. Oh, yes. Becky has thanked me millions of times for covering this case. She says putting pressure on law enforcement is the most important thing that's ever happened to this case. And that's the collective, that's everybody who cared about this case. But more importantly, the people who actually went up, to law enforcement and demanded, actions. You really got to commend those people, not the ones that sit back like me and just bitch about things. Linda says, after you watched the documentaries, all three, did you feel they were responsible? I'm still confused. It's a very confusing case. I don't know. I feel like they could have done it, maybe with the help of another adult, but I think just them three, with Damien, kind of quarterbacking it all, bringing them towards the water, him, being a reader and his knowledge of the occult, and I'm sure probably some serial killer information. Do a little bit of research. You need to be near water if you're trying to hide trace evidence. So I don't know. That's what we're going to be talking about in the members meeting tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to spend a lot of time on the West Memphis 3. What's up, Bray? Yeah, I don't think there should be a desire. Thanks, BN. That's all I wanted this morning was some coffee. Shay says, could one person have done this, or was this done as a production for others to see? That's what it's looking like. Let's listen to Garrett Kurtz here. He says it's on tape.
She told me that Sheena Cottrell and Nick Edwards had fucking videotapes of the shit, and that she heard them talking about it. And then when I asked her about it, she's like, "Oh, I don't know nothing."
She said Sheena Cottrell and a guy named Nick Edwards. Can't really believe anything Garrett Kurtz says. He's basically a lying serial killer at this point. But he's saying they were talking about it being on tape, and they had tapes, and the people that are talking about it, he said, was Ashley Garth and these two other people. And Ashley Garth is a convicted killer. So who knows? Hey, what's up, Joey? How you doing? Hope you're having a great day. Courtney Robb says, do we know who the duping lady was? Was it that lady who called into a show or was interviewed a while back about giving KK and pretending to like KK to do her own research? I don't know. That sounds very similar. I mean, yeah, you guys all should know who this person is. I'm surprised they didn't call her out by name during the court proceedings. But yeah, this person also made, I think, some type of comments or statements on her YouTube channel about throwing a phone into the river herself. You know, that was a long time ago. Some type of being afraid of Voorhees or something. Alex, something about being afraid of Alex the hacker, and she threw the phone she was using to communicate with Kagan. She threw it in the river. So who knows? That could be just another lie. Mike says, Sleuth, do you think that the sleepover that Libby was at is significant to the case? Yes, I think it is. If Kagan is connected to this crime, which we haven't really gotten any like solid proof on that, I think he is, but what I think is irrelevant. But yeah, we learned that Kagan Klein met. Let me see if I have a map here. This might help. Might help us understand. Okay, early on in this case, me and another creator, Don't Hate Create, did a live stream about basically what Abby and Libby were up to, you know, the weeks and days prior to the crime. And a lot of it ended up being spot on. So shout out to her. But yeah, we found out that her phone was reset around Friday the 3rd. And then we were able to find that Becky verified it, saying that 10 days prior to the crime is when she reset her phone. Okay, so that puts us Friday the 3rd. So later on, here comes Keegan Klein's interview transcript. He says, well, I met her at the beginning of February at a sleepover. She was hanging out. I was talking to her friend. And the friend that he was talking to he actually knows her family and was catfishing her. You know, which is already creepy. So she could have been a target. Who knows? But Anthony Schatz is talking to her, and Libby is in the background. So while she's sending photos to Anthony Schatz, you can see Libby in the background. So it's at this point, I think either Kagan or somebody else began communicating with Libby, either directly or by gaining information through this catfishing, and maybe try to come at her through another profile. Because remember, right around this time, somebody was harassing her. And Kagan Klein also mentions, oh, I blocked her. You know, she was annoying me. But during that same interview, law enforcement makes it seem as if Libby was completely kind of fooled by the catfish. She was just completely catfished. Hook, line, and sinker, so to speak. So that was most likely her motivation for being at that bridge. So yeah, if Keegan Klein is involved, I think that is extremely important. V Marie, there's actually there was a previous documentary, or somebody took the footage and redid it. So you can find that online, and they blur out the crime scene, and they kind of edit it a little bit. So that's the stuff that we're going to be showing in the members meeting. So we're not going to be showing any of the gruesome stuff, because frankly, I've already seen it, and once is enough. So I was glad I could find this. We're going to kind of hope it's not going to be monetized. I mean, members is already monetized, right? So hopefully we can get away with showing a lot of that documentary for those of you who haven't seen it. This doesn't look like the HBO production. It almost looks like a pilot, maybe, that they presented to HBO and said, hey, look, this is what we're trying to do. Maybe it was picked up by HBO. I'm not sure. Because the music and everything is different. I mean, I just don't understand why they would care about some girl duping Kagan Klein, searching the river, spending all that money to fly Kagan Klein to the Air Force Base to speak with Nicholas McClelland. I mean, come on, guys. Peter, what's up? Wonder if they will get a conviction in the West Memphis 4. West Memphis 3? Well, I'm not sure if they've accomplished this, but they've been trying to get some new DNA testing. You know, there's new technologies. They have a lot of stuff they could, I think specifically the shoelaces is what they're hoping to test. All right, let's see. I think we'll close out the live stream with this here. Okay, so a lot of people are saying, well, how could his family not have recognized him or why didn't they turn him in? And I think you guys are onto something.
You need to stop. You need to stop. I need to stop. But you know what? I'm not going to. It's gonna be a really long day. Oh, God.
What's up, Boston Christian, true crime housewife, growing the beans? Courtney Robb, yes, it's a great documentary. And there's two versions of it. If you want the edited version, it's available. It's actually free online if you want to watch it. But yes, the Paradise Lost HBO documentary is really well put together. It's just a little creepy, and can't quite understand the motivations behind it yet.
You need to stop.
Okay, so that was Richard Allen between November and December. So take a look at this. All these images are from November to December of 2016. Okay. So this is the man you've been spending your entire life with, really. He's wearing the damn blue coat here, which is not a Carhartt jacket, I don't think. It looks more like a windbreaker type. Okay. He's wearing it in this picture from around Thanksgiving, and this is December. Okay. Now, they're blasting this everywhere in your town. And you know that your husband was there that day, right? It's no secret. She knew. No, it has not yet been solved. The West Memphis 3 case has not yet been solved. And they're refusing to run the DNA, but they also I guess on the books those boys are still considered guilty. I think it's what is it, an Alford plea? Where you say, yeah, I'm guilty. That way you can't sue the courts and all of that, but they'll let you out. What's up, Katie? Hey, what's up, Dawn? Good to see you. It is a case out of West Memphis. I think 1995, I think. 3 young boys were murdered, and they pinned it on 3 young kids, wearing Metallica shirts, dressing in all black, reading Aleister Crowley books. And a lot of people think that they're guilty. Me, I'm not sure. I tend to believe that they did do it. Even when they were released, the guy who, I think his name's Jesse Miskelly, one of the boys who actually confessed. And when they were finally released, the other two, Damien and the other guy, are all excited, right? And he's just like got his head down. He's shaking his head like, dang, like we're getting, like, how are we getting released? Like we're hella guilty. He almost looked like he felt bad about it. Yeah, V Maria. I've spoken with Josh from the lab. He thinks they're hella guilty. I'm not sure. Like I said, it's a very strange case. True crime and other stuff. What's up? Kidding, but not kidding. Justice for Abby and Libby says, I think they have a digital trail now that ties Richard Allen directly to the crime. I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt that. I'm 100%. Well, I'm 99.9% sure he's the bridge guy. I mean, look at the screen. I mean, I feel like we're looking right at him. Yeah, that case is heartbreaking. And what's really strange, if you watch all 3 of them, you'll see kind of how all the parents have changed their minds. Like at one point, they thought the kids were guilty. And at one point, they thought some of the other family members might have been involved. Because one of the dads, he's been accused. What was his name? Terry Hobbs, I think is his name. Yeah, a lot of people went after him pretty hard. Yeah, it's a very strange case. Might even be worse than the Delphi case, as far as like the social media stuff that went on. Yeah, I agree with that, Kitty. Kitty says they had to go through the pure evil, so to witness their suffering is an eye-opener. A 13 and 14-year-old had to endure it. So for us to have empathy is important, not a blind eye. I agree with that. But I also respect people who disagree. All right, let me close out this poll. Because I'm curious and I haven't checked yet. Seems to be about 50-50 from what I hear in the chat. Okay, so the question was, do you think it was necessary to show the victims' bodies in the HBO documentary Paradise Lost about the West Memphis Three? 50% said not necessary. 27% said depends on the person watching. That would have been what I would have selected. Only way to truly understand was 23%. So thank you everybody who participated. Thank you so much. And there's the results for that. Yeah, so 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, guys, we'll be having our members meeting. We will be talking about the West Memphis 3 case. What is up, Slatherings? Good to see you. All right, guys. I appreciate everybody who caught the live stream. Shout out to you guys. Replay crew, you know what to do. Drop a comment. We'll get back to you. And all of you, don't be a scrub. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. It's the least you could do. Hey, Boston. Hey, Robin. Hope you're doing well. See, Joey says the 3 West Memphis guys did not kill the boys. Terry Hobbs killed the boys. See, there's a lot of people out there that are very suspicious of him. And I think the lab actually did an interview with him, which was a great live stream. And I actually communicated with Terry Hobbs on a Delphi Facebook group page. So what's he doing there? I thought that was strange. Everybody was talking to him like he was just a normal person. I go, Terry Hobbs? I was all, Terry Hobbs? And I clicked on his profile, and it was the dude from the West Memphis 3. So yeah, very strange case. So imagine them arresting a group of people for the Delphi murders and then 20 years later letting them out, saying, oh, well, these are the wrong guys, but still calling them guilty, but they're free. Well, I think they found with the confession and the knife they found. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. I don't know anything about that, Anna. I know Grismatically Clever covers it. He sent it over to me. I looked at it. I just don't understand it. H-Doc says, Kurtz also said he also had multiple phones. Was he running phones for the pedos, like drugs, but access to porn or children instead? Yeah, it's possible. Kind of get a feeling that's actually what happens. They load up these burner phones with a whole bunch of shit, and then they can just purchase the phone. They have the profiles. They probably have a folder they can click on. It's just filled with CSAM and like all a bunch of dirty crap. From our investigation, we kind of uncovered a lot of that. We do a lot of digging. No, I didn't see that digital. Yeah, shout out to Don't Hate Create. All right. And I want to thank Mike for sponsoring today's live stream. Thanks a lot, Mike. Jojo says, I own the original DVDs of that HBO documentary. I used to have them. I think there might be a fourth one now. I know there's 3 for sure. You got it, V. Hey, there's Grizz. What up? What's going on, Mandy? Yikes. And that would be easy to explain away, right, Jojo? Hey, what's up, Brad? From Outside of the Grid podcast. Go check it out. Yeah, he's free. And he was basically on the Facebook Delphi group kind of as an advocate, for families of victims. And he was trying to explain to everybody how Anna Williams and Becky and the family was feeling. I was like, I don't think these people know who they're talking to. Like, this guy's involved in like one of the worst cases I've ever seen, and they had no clue. Hey, Leslie. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, and it doesn't prove anything. I mean, he should have one of his hairs somewhere on his body, I don't know about you, but my wife's hair is constantly I feel like I'm growing it. It's just on me constantly. Yeah, I guess it is now. I don't think it was meant to be a series, but as it evolved and unfolded, it just kind of turned out that way. I believe there's 3. I mean, viewer discretion advised. Right from the beginning, they're going to show you the crime scene photos or video. It's not even photos, it's a video. So just be aware of that. But if you want to watch it, there is an edited version that is out there online that you can watch for free. And that is the one I will be using for the members meeting later tonight. Brad says, there's no effing way she didn't know. Okay, if she did know, was there enough opportunity to deny it? Which I believe law enforcement provided plenty of that. Talking about who? Which one? Okay. So I was right. Brad says 93 to 94. Thank you. Okay, I did get that right. I was like, Alfred plea. I don't know how I know that, but I think that's right. Yeah, I just don't know anymore, Jojo. Yep, Damian Eccles. He's still out there. He has a podcast and he talks about black magic and the occult. Chopper says they didn't pin it, they did it. Yeah, did they pin it on the right guy? Either way, it was pinned on them. Land's End jacket? I'm not sure. I'm seeing like a doesn't look too heavy duty to me. Looks more like like you would just kind of wear it if it was cold out. You didn't really plan to be outside a lot. Yeah, puffy sleeves, look at that. I mean, this is him just 2 months prior to the crime, so. But either way, guys, that is all my time. Shout out to all of you who were able to catch the live. And remember, replay crew, it's okay. Drop a comment. We see you. We didn't forget about you. Yeah, Jojo, it's hard. Because you can, they kind of they kind of grab your emotions, right? Like, oh man, mostly the people out there that kind of were the same. They wore dark clothes and they wore the heavy metal t-shirts, long hair, a lot of jewelry, chains on the wallet. Those are the people that were like really relating to this and really thought that they were innocent, because they've been persecuted before. They know how it feels. Just because they're a little different, doesn't mean that they're killers. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that they're not. Wish I could catch up on all you guys. Let's see. Hey, there's Ruckus. Good to see you, Ruckus. Hope you're doing well. I'm glad to see you survived the damn hurricane. Good to see you up and about and not stuck up in a tree. Brick with Eye says they didn't do it. The dad did. Yeah, what a strange case. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate your support. Ruckus, showing Ruckus the love. Bless up. Thank you, Shay. Always good to see you. Good to see you again, Shooter, Dawn. Mama Styles, I missed you. Yep, I agree. Hey, there's the Frank Meister. Seashore, what up? Have a great day, everybody. That is all my time. Just want to make sure. Oh, there's Marbles. Candace. Okay. How are you? Yeah, you didn't miss the live, just the first part. So you're good. Glad you can make it. Leave a comment if you could. Dang, you guys are super active. Under the Dome says creepy guy. You know what's funny about that? Under the Dome, creepy guy? Is that Under the Dome the book or the series that came out? If that's the book by Stephen King, that is a great book. Man, yeah, I recommend that book. I'm not sure if that's the same one though. But yeah, I think the creepy guy didn't come from Abby and Libby's video. We always heard like, hey, is the creepy guy still behind us? No, I think that came from the witnesses, right? Because now that we can read what was put in the PCA, it says that right there. The witnesses called him creepy. Like he was kind of a creepy guy, they said. Hey, Stephanie. See, I think Terry Hobbs did it. He fits the profile very well. I mean, I can't call it. That's what I'm telling you. That case is beyond strange. Like, you can't just spend an hour or two just like, oh, hey, I'm going to go take a look. You got to really look at everything and spend some time to understand the intricacies of that case. And I still haven't even scratched the surface. Julianne. All right, guys. Daisy. Hey, Jill. All right, guys. That's it. I'm out of here. I appreciate it. And all you members out there, I'll see you later tonight. We got a lot of information to go over. So if you could set aside at least an hour and a half to 2 hours, we're going to go over a lot of information. So I'll see you guys later. And everybody that caught the live stream, thank you. Shout out to you. Everybody who participated in the chat, thank you again. Appreciate all the great conversation that you guys provide, the input, the information, the corrections, the mods, and everybody who decides to sponsor the streams. You guys rock. Thank you. I'm out. Peace.